What makes a great leader? You know, that is something that people are absolutely trying to answer right now because we're going through some difficult times. And the first thing to understand is that leadership is not a title. Leadership is a collection of our actions and our service to other people that allow us to gain respect, and that over time, then people want to follow us. They want to follow our direction and they want to seek our guidance. We're going to talk about 3 skills right now that really define great leadership, so stick around. Hey, thank you for tuning in with me today, and if you're brand new here, welcome. My name is Mike Phillips, and I teach sales training, motivational content, and leadership education. First, we need to understand that not all situations and not all leadership styles are the same. Leadership is adaptive, and leaders need to be able to empower their people and adapt to situations so that they can see success as an entire team. Now, as I share these 3 skills, and I call them skills because skills can be learned, they can be improved upon, and they can be polished so that you can become masterful at them. As I'm sharing these, think about where you're at in your leadership journey. And I would encourage you, if it's something that you need to work on, the big key is that you have to make sure and take action. So let's get into what makes a great leader. Number 1 is leaders lead by example. They do what they expect others to do. I'll share a story with you right now. I remember being in my late teens working in a roller rink, one of my most fun jobs I've ever had. It was a blast. And we would have probably 600 teenagers through that roller rink on a Friday night. And you can just imagine when we closed up the disaster area that took place. We had 2 different managers that would close for the evening. And so one of them would simply tell people what to do, especially new people. They would say, hey, the bathrooms are a mess. You need to go clean the bathrooms. The other manager, that was a closing manager as well, would take the time to go with the people into the bathrooms, which were a disaster area, and show them what the expectation was. He would be cleaning toilets, cleaning sinks alongside the person. Now, you can imagine the one manager that simply told people what to do, they got skipped out on, things got missed, and at the end of the night, that person ended up cleaning the bathrooms frustrated by themselves anyway, the manager, not the employee. And the other manager that showed people what to do, he showed us what to do, he would then delegate that to us at a later time, say, hey, this is what needs to be done, remember I showed you this, and kind of walk through it all with us. Well, because of that, he always received glowing reports back from the owner, and he was able to accomplish much more because he not just provided a clear expectation, but he did the tasks along with the people that were working there. He led by example, truly led by example. He was willing to do what he expected of others. Number 2 is that leaders know their people. We should know every individual that works for us directly. And it's important to know them as people and not just as numbers or just as professionals that show up to work. There are more dynamics to the people that work with us and work for us than just what they do there at work. People that lead because they have a title often will tell their staff members, they'll tell the people around them what's important to them or what's important to the company. Now, I would challenge you to do the inverse of that. And what I mean by that is listening to people is one of the most powerful things that you can do in a leadership role. So instead of telling people what's important to you or what's important to the company, slow down and ask questions so that you can learn what is important to them. Now, when you slow down and you find out what is really important to the people that you are leading, it allows you to be a more effective leader and coach. I'll give you a real life example right now. I have a young lady that works for me. She works in a call center environment. Absolutely awesome, and she's brilliant at the job that she does. But because I've sat down and coached with her one-on-one and listened to what her hopes and what her aspirations are, I know that 5 years from now, she wants to be in a management role. So I can effectively coach her in the position that she's in now while giving her additional assignments and some additional duties to work on so that she can move towards that specific goal. By doing that, it shows that you genuinely care about the person. She's not always going to be a call center representative. She wants to do other stuff, and that's fantastic. But if I didn't have a conversation with her, I would never know that. Now, we still have one more skill to talk about today, but before we do that, I would love to hear your thoughts. What specific skills or traits do you think are the most important ones for leaders to possess right now? Would you do me a favor and share that in the comments so that we can continue the conversation? And hey, if you haven't done it already, please click the subscribe button and hit the bell so you get notified when I'm sharing new content. And right now, skill number 3, leaders are decisive. Nobody likes a wishy-washy leader. Everybody's got to make decisions, and no one wants to follow somebody that cannot make up their mind. If you aren't decisive in what it is, if you're presented with 2 options and you have a tough time making a decision, people are going to have a tough time deciding if they want to follow you or not. Now, it's important that you take in all your people's advice, everybody's opinions, consult with other leaders, take in all the data that you can on a specific task at hand. But once you've done that, make a decision. It is important to make a decision and move forward. Move forward all together in a direction. Because if you don't do that, if you're indecisive, then your people can sometimes just disperse all over. They're headed in all different directions, trying to accomplish whatever task they think it is that you want to accomplish. As a leader, if you realize that you've made the wrong decision, it's okay to change directions, but then be decisive and everybody move in that direction together again. So as a leader, when you are decisive, you're able to move all together in one direction and you're going to achieve a much greater result. Thank you so much for taking the time to tune in and join me today. I appreciate you and I look forward to seeing you again soon.